Yeah, you said you wanted to meet them after the highway. Yeah. Let us pray. Most kind, gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you once again thanking you for the beautiful day that you've given each and every one of us, Lord. I pray that you'll be with this body of commissioners as they get ready to take care of the business at hand, Lord. I pray for our nation. I pray for our county. Lord, as always, I pray for little Landon. God, I pray that you'll be with Anita. Pray, Lord, that you'll be with each and every one that's lost a loved one just these last couple of days. For in your Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. Amen.
Would you like to lead us in prayer, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's do roll call. Keith Barker.
Here.
Shane Bowman.
Here.
Greg Brooks.
Here.
Andy Carver. Danny Carver.
Here.
Debbie Davis.
Here.
Mush Davis.
Here.
Christy Harden. Here. Kelly Morgan. Here. John Kippinger.
Here.
Samantha Traylor.
Here.
We're going to move a little bit around. We're going to move the budget amendments to the end because we've got a couple that will be affected by that to the end. And Mr. Ryan Cook wanted to make a few statements before we get started. I can cover it type moment.
Hey guys, I wanted to address the commission from the ID board standpoint real quick. I should have done it last meeting. We were to follow up with you guys from the workshop meeting with the application and moving forward. We got some new members. With our new members, it took a little while to get everybody up to speed on the Food City deal. Still kind of working through that and working through an application. I believe we'll be asking you all for another workshop meeting moving forward, but as soon as we get everybody on the same page, we'll update you on our application and ask for another workshop. In our last meeting, it was brought to our attention about the non-voting members, that there is a state law, and I did not research this, but this is what I'm told, a state law that says that non-voting members are an automatic one-year term unless otherwise specified. So again, I didn't research it. I'm not sure when we added some non-voting members if it was specified on a term limit or not, but our non-voting members are coming up on a 2-year term in April, so that's going to be coming up. Out of the 4 that we included on our board, we have 1 that is now a commissioner. Congratulations. We have 1 that's only shown up to 1 meeting, and then we have 2 that are involved. So just want to let you all know that. Third issue is our bylaws. When the board was reformed, there was a gentleman on the board that's no longer on the board that wrote the bylaws. They were not written to follow state law, so we have some issues with the quote new bylaws, and they were never filed with the Secretary of State. So we're going to work with Eric Brooks and update our bylaws. So I guess that brings me back to the non-voting members. If we're going to continue with that program, probably need to know so we can get non-voting members included in our bylaws moving forward. And then the last issue is what I passed the paper out about. The Ducktown Industrial Park. Mr. Michael Head was in Benton at y'all's last meeting. He's interested in property in the Ducktown Industrial Park. It's spelled out pretty clearly that he needs to bring a written offer to the industrial board, and then the industrial board needs to come back to you all and present the offer with what he's wanting to do with the property. After that, we need to get it surveyed and then come back for a final approval from the commission to move forward with a sale. It's my understanding that if the commission sells any property, it has to go out to bid. So you would have to turn it back over to the IED board, so we didn't have to put it out to bid. There are, I believe there's another interested party in some land there in the industrial park. So if we need to tweak anything on that first resolution, probably need to go ahead and work on that from your all standpoint. And if that's good, as far as the ID board, we're good with that moving forward. We got a plan to move forward and work through that. So probably April or May, we'll probably be coming back with a written request with an offer is what it's looking like. So just wanted to update you all on that. Thank you for your time.
But we'd have to transfer it to you, back to the IED board, right?
Yeah. If the county sells stuff, you have to put it out for bid. The ID board would have to sell it if you don't want to do bids, and especially if they wanted to do any sort of pilot program, then it has to go through the ID board.
Didn't we put those non-voting members on there just for diversity?
Correct.
I think that's why we did it. But now, I mean, we really don't have to worry about it, so.
And it was the request of the industrial board to put a couple of non-voting, ex-officiating members, and it was also in the talks, and like Ryan said, if there's 1 year statute, what it is, but it was in talks for 2 years. So either way, coming up in April, those board members are up for either a reappointment, or if the AD board, if you all want to put all new, if you want to take them off, that's totally up to, left up.
Any other questions? Thank you all.
Well, before we start, can you read that email that we got?
All of us should have got this email around 6:30ish today. It says, I apologize for the delay in sending this email. However, I wanted to ensure you obtain these documents before tonight's meeting. Unfortunately, I'm out of town for work and cannot present this to you in person. Attached are the complaint filings for members Byron Buddy Hayes and Tim Jones. After repeated attempts to obtain state-required conflict of interest forms, Mr. Jones and Mr. Hayes remain non-compliant in signing both these forms. After conversations with both TCCA and CTAS, I have moved to the next step of filing complaints with the State Comptroller, Secretary of State, and Attorney General to prevent possible board and county liability. Attached with the complaint filings are documents referencing the statute numbers of these laws and court cases in which this topic has created liability. Improperly seated voting members, lack of conflict of interest forms, and other state mandated information can generate county and board liability, and more importantly, invalidate deals such as Food City. And then there's a Dickens case attached as a reference. As you consider the need for non-voting members, please keep in mind that we are still trying to ensure our voting members' compliance. Adding more cooks in the proverbial kitchen will only create additional work and potentially greater liability. Thank you all for all the hard work you do. I appreciate your consideration in this matter, and more importantly, I wanted to bring you up to speed as to where the board lies. Last, I will ask our county attorney to issue a writ mandating the delinquent members to sign their conflict of interest as soon as possible, and that's from Monica Farrow. And she's attached all the stuff to the bottom of the email. So she wanted to let us know that before the thing tonight, so makes everybody aware. All right. Approval of minutes.
Motion to approve?
Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker? Shane Bowman? Ray Brooks? Danny Carver? Debbie Davis?
Yes.
Mush Davis? Christie Harden?
Yes.
Kelly Morgan?
Yes.
John Kipinger?
Yes.
And Samantha Trent? Yes.
Approval of the reports of office.
Motion to approve?
Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker? Shane Bowman? Ray Brooks? Danny Carver? Debbie Davis?
Yes.
Mush Davis? Christie Harden?
Yes.
Kelly Morgan? John Kipinger?
Yes.
Samantha Trent? Yes.
All right. Then we have approval of notary. I only have one. We'll take Mark William Bishop.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Keith Parker? Shane Bowman? Ray Brooks? Danny Carver? Debbie Davis?
Yes.
Mush Davis?
Yes.
Christie Harden?
Yes.
Kelly Morgan?
Yes.
John Kipinger?
Yes.
Samantha Trent? Yes.
All right. And we moved all the budget amendments down to the end. That brings us to the homeschool declaration. I did send you guys some more information. We also received some more information through the email that I forwarded to you. So I want to know what the feelings are at this point.
You wanna just take a motion on it, to vote on it?
That'll be fine.
I make a motion to take a vote on the homeschool resolution.
I'll say,
Any discussion?
I think this is something that maybe needed at some point in time, but not now, not with what the state said. I think there's some misinterpretation of what's been done so far, just reading through it.
I believe it's the way it's state law, we can't pass anything for state law anymore.
I
I guess that's my point of what makes this so much different than any of the others. There's nothing any different. What we do or pass in this resolution, we don't trump state or federal law by any means. So I don't understand if we're gonna pass the other two, why is this one any different? Since everybody's got a big issue about it.
That's, that's why I was asking, what does everybody feel,
I mean, I'm just asking for,
I have to ask, but other part, we can't do state law.
right.
because we know that the state is not, we don't have any proof that they're coming to take it away, that they're gonna try to take it away. If they did, our resolution's not gonna do anything.
Well, no, I mean, that's the same, I guess my basis is that's the same thing as the gun resolution.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything saying they're coming right now to take our guns, but we passed it,
Yeah, we
so.
did.
Just being proactive.
So I guess that's the
Yeah,
thing here.
I guess
is just being
it's we're being
proactive.
proactive and saying, you know, we agree.
This one here, apparently, the caption bill was in play last legislation, and they did compromise and come to an agreement. So hopefully, the caption bill won't come back up. So I
Either
think
way, it doesn't change, I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
we don't have any.
Just real, thanks for letting me speak. I know you guys can't, step over state laws, and I understand that. However, as a county, there's a group of us here, all of us, I've homeschooled my daughter, the entire time. And I feel like just as, the kids have a choice of public school, depending on what county they live in, we as parents also should have the option to have every option available to our children as to what they learn at home, what we teach them. And, if this is something that's coming up, during this election, I'd like to be made aware so that, we can attend it. And if they do try to take that away, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna fight it every step of the way because I wanna be in control of what my child sees, what she learns.
And I'm completely with that.
I agree with everything you just said.
I feel like that it's, I'll be 44 this year. Public school is a whole lot different than what it was when I was in school. And with the internet, kids have every option to see anything and everything. It's on us as parents. It all starts at home. I'm a Christian woman. My child does Christian school. I know that Sarah, her family is the same. That's my pastor and his wife. I'm very adamant about, I will not allow my child to have an agenda pushed on her. I will not. That's my job. It's my job to teach her, first of all, a foundation based on the Lord Jesus Christ, first and foremost. Second of all,
I agree 100%.
I just feel like that if this is something that comes up, we need to be made aware because I won't stand for them coming in and saying what we can and can't do.
Well, I'm sure it's in agreement that we all feel that same way, but it's probably not going to change the long facts, But we're going to give you the vote.
Well, I think that's where it comes
Part
from.
of the problem that we're having to deal with.
Yeah, I think this is more or less just gonna be a vote of support.
A support, that's what I'm
And
saying.
I don't think that we should get that excited about it one way or the other. We have to be careful
Oh, of
because,
course, I
that we don't break any laws.
Absolutely. Oh,
Pass
I get that
anything.
completely.
But I feel like that we're okay, and I want y'all to have our support. I mean, I think everybody
That's where I
does.
was referencing,
Right.
it's no different really than the other two
Yeah.
because we didn't have, it's
Yeah.
not gonna say it's not worth the paper it's written on, but we can't overstep. It's just
Yeah.
saying we support, you have our support is basically.
What were you saying?
One of the things that we're having to deal with is the fact that the small group here that's presenting this is apparently going against the statewide school rules that are in Nashville fighting to keep these rights where they're at. So we've had an email sent out that points out difference of opinions between the state group and the local group and what's fact and what's fiction. And they were, does anybody have a copy of that with them? I hadn't sent that out over.
Let me ask you real quick while we're looking about this, because my daughter, my last grandson, she homeschooled him after he went to the Pella program and then he went into homeschooling through Penn Foster. Real quick, because we don't have a lot of time. I've always been told that in order for your child to have a accredited high school diploma, that she or he can walk up to Cleveland State with, or walk up to a job that says high school diploma required, that it had to be state accredited. Now, am I correct on that? Is that, and how do you all get state accredited, so to speak?
So with the program that I use for mine, I use Abeka Academy. It's Christian based out of Florida. They have two separate programs. They have an unaccredited and they have an accredited.
Okay.
With the accredited program, they send us out report cards, pass or fail, just like you would in a public school.
Yeah.
Sarah, I don't know, or Drew, do you know? Oh, Sarah, what about yours? I'm sorry, I couldn't see. How does yours work?
We can keep our own log
Okay.
of grades and achievements.
Our daughter just graduated high school at 16, got a full diploma, went to college and is finished already, and she was
Okay.
accepted.
I mean,
in.
that's just,
But
I
we
feel like
didn't
a
know
lot of
that.
people don't understand that.
Yeah.
And that's why that I wanted to try to let you all have that moment to make sure that everybody don't just think that your kids are sitting and eating cereal.
Yeah, and they
like
don't.
they're
And
at
with
school.
I have to keep up with her hours. She follows 180 school days, and
Right.
it's at least 5.5 hours per day based on her age.
Yeah.
And even with the unaccredited, even with that one, we still have to keep a log of her days that she attends.
Yeah.
And I try my very best to stick to what Basin runs,
Yeah.
just because we live in Polk County, so we're going to try to follow what you guys do, and that keeps her on track.
Yeah.
So we still have to turn that in regardless, that way they see, okay, she's doing this, and we have videos, hers is in video led. She sits right beside me, I work from home, and she does her videos while I work.
Yeah, yeah. That just.
Yes, sir.
I'll go off script here. I have something prepared, but I see where this thing's going, so just a few notes. There were two questions last time. One was, is this about money? This is not about money. We don't want your money. We don't want the state money. We'll pay for our children ourselves. Number two, is this about any laws? The first 6 items on the resolution are directly copied from the gun sanctuary resolution. I've already voted on that. The conclusion of the resolution, copied straight from the gun sanctuary resolution. You already voted on that. The remaining items are laws passed and legal precedents passed in reference of homeschooling. We follow your leadership from the gun sanctuary resolution. Instead of Second Amendment, we did precedents. We don't have an amendment in the Constitution. We got y'all. Now, as to the national pressure, I understand you're under pressure. This thing did not just happen last year. There's a $1 billion voucher I voted as we speak right now. We have, I hope I have the permission to say that, a family where the judge ordered the kids removed because they did not recognize an institution that we all use, Home Life Academy, they did not recognize as accredited. So we're not talking about somebody else. It is us here, these children. You know these children. They go to the ECHAM, they go to UVBS, they put their Polk County jerseys and they go play for Polk County. You see them at the Christmas parade, the tree lighting in the library. You know these children. We're not doing anything secret. Polk County, Tennessee, homeschooling Polk County is not done in secret. It's done public. But we want to prevent somebody coming for our children. Because then the way it reads in the 1214 bill, the way it reads in the Voucher Act, they can implement institutions, not even asking the local academic authority to come in, put their schools, mix my children with illegal immigrants, and I'm an immigrant, I have the right to say that, and mix them with parole children. Y'all gonna allow this for your children? I don't think so. We're here not because there's nothing going on. We're here because something's going on, and we ask you to act enough, vote in affirmation so we can protect our children. Thank you very much.
Like I say, like we just all got through saying, we don't know what it will do for you. But if the chairman, this chairman will open up a vote, then we're gonna vote on it. And, you know, I hope if it passes, I hope it means something.
It'll mean a lot. It'll mean a lot
There'll
to
be
you.
a lot of support from you all, from
Absolutely.
our county.
Yeah.
Will mean a lot.
Because my child plays just like you said. She plays softball, she plays rec ball.
And he plays for Polk County.
Yeah.
And I still have the issue with the state homeschool, which is recognized, is pretty much speaking against what y'all are saying. Now, I'm trying to put those two together.
I think that's because they don't want to go against the grain. I don't know exactly where they're coming from, but what I'm guessing is they're kind of like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But the point is, later on down the road, we probably all use umbrella schools. I use an umbrella school, and that's how my daughter graduated. She got the help of Home Life Academy, and they got her where she needed to go. She got it all done. She uses Home Life Academy. But if I decide not to, next semester or next year, I feel like that should be our decision as parents, instead of being told you have to do this. Because later on down the road, if you don't say anything about it now, later on down the road, it could be like, well, Home Life Academy's out. You have to put him under a private school, umbrella school. Well, then maybe down the road that goes out, and they're saying, well, you've got to do a government umbrella school, still homeschool, but it's under government regulations.
Exactly.
And once we're there, if we've ignored all this in the background, I'm just afraid that.
Well, that's one of the things that they point out, that hasn't happened, where apparently part of the resolution states that it has. They've lost their money either up to 3 or 4 ways.
Yeah, that's what we don't want to happen.
Well, but it hasn't happened.
We're kind of like
The resolution
preemptive
stated
though.
that it had.
Right, that's what we're saying. We want something in place now in the event that something comes up to where, like she said, I do Rebecca. Well, what if Rebecca, they don't want to do that, or they say, well, you can't do that anymore, you've got to use this or this. It should be my choice what I use, as long as my child still gets the same education that she would get whether she's in a public school or a private school. It's just a matter of protecting
our
the,
freedom.
the resources that we have, I mean, I'm sorry, but just like, the Second Amendment, you're not coming to my house to take my guns. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm also not gonna stand for you to tell me that it's not okay for me to use the Good and the Beautiful or Home Life or Rebecca. I want her to have every option available to her. I was in public school, it was rough then, it's worse now, and I want every option for her to where she has the option, and I as her mother can be right there with her. I see what she's being taught, I hear what's being taught, and I agree with it. Because I didn't used to be who I am now. Sarah and Drew know me. I've lived here my entire life, and I have seen how things have changed here. And even Fannin County, I didn't graduate from Basin, I graduated from Fannin. I did attend 3 years at Basin. There are things that are happening at a local level and on up, and it's unacceptable for these kids. And so we're all here, just so you guys see that we need your support in trying, even if it's just a small step. It takes one little step to where it protects us, to where we have the resources that we can choose whatever homeschool we want, as long as it gets them passed on up in grades and they pass their stuff. We just need one little step, and if it goes up and it goes to a state thing, then we'll travel wherever. I'm all up for a road trip, because I'm vocal, and I love my town, and I want the best for our kids, and I know you guys do too. There's just things that, like I said, we just need your support in making sure that if it's kind of like a bubble wrap, you're shipping something just in case.
Well, that option needs to be available to you.
Yeah,
Period.
it does. It needs to be available to everybody, and I'll pay for it. It's costly.
Motion second.
All right,
Roll call.
Keith Parker. Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Danny Carver.
No.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Chrissy Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Pippinger. Samantha Trent.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yes. 1 no, 2 no, and 1 pass. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 yes. 1 pass. 2 no's.
So that passes, right?
Yes.
Six.
Passes.
All right.
Thank you.
We don't know what you got, but you got it.
You got it.
You got ours? Thank you. Much
That's
needed.
gonna work, really. All right, District Pippinger. Public Act Resolution 57.
I'll pass these out tonight. It is what it is. You want to read it? Want to vote on it tonight?
You got those? All right, you wanna read it? Where, it wasn't in the packet, you gave it to us tonight. Oh, there it is, yeah. Okay. You wanna read it? I'll read it.
Resolution of the governing body of Polk County, Tennessee, to request amendment to the Physical Control Act of 1957. Whereas the Physical Control Act of 1957, the 57 Act, as it's well known, was one of the earliest purchasing acts developed that differed from the general law of this great state. It failed to include a clause allowing for a county adopting such act to have the option to go back to general law, which is a provision allowed for in preceding acts such as the 81 Act. And whereas this deficiency in such act traps the county into an unwanted situation, resulting in reoccurring write-ups and findings from the state comptroller's office. And whereas it is within the power of the state to amend such acts. Now therefore be it resolved by a vote of the Board of the County Commissioners of Polk County meeting in an irregular session on this 20th day of February 2024, Poplar Basin Community Center in Ducktown, Tennessee, that it is hereby requested that the state create a general law that creates a process whereby a county can revoke its adoption of the 57 Act or to amend the 57 Act itself by adding the same language as it included in the county financial management system of the 1981 as follows. A, this chapter act, once adopted, may be revoked by the same method used to adopt the chapter. B, such revocation shall be effective with the fiscal year beginning at least 60 days after passage of the resolution or referendum.
Real quick, the Public Act, this is different from the private act. This is in line with the review that was done by the state on the private act, recommending that it needs to be a private act incorporating the inclusion of the road department and schools, or vice versa, or be done by public act. This just allows this asks the state to do exactly what they've done in the 81 and the 93 Act, which is put a clause in to allow the county to go back to general law. We are operating under general law now, except we have adopted the 57 Act, so we're getting rolled up every year. And the comptroller's office put a nice little note on their webpage above the Polk County write-up this last year. It was in the private act that I handed y'all a couple of months ago, that he was getting, I guess, irritated, concerned that the county was not taking action to correct the finding. So it's a recurring finding. I think we're in the, 14th year as of this week? 14th, 15th, yeah, somewhere in there, as of this week. They just discussed it. So, we can pass this in the state. It will not bind us to have to do it, but if the state would approve this, then we would have the option. So it would be much simpler than that. I do make a motion on it.
Second.
Discussion?
What are we, the option of what?
The option of
I can't hear down here, John.
The option is if the state does approve this, that we would have an option to go back to general law.
To keep operating like we're operating.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
and not get rolled up. That's the only good thing about it. I mean, it's literally the same thing, we just don't get rolled up.
And every time we get rolled up, it gets so twisted.
Yeah,
Everybody thinks everybody's a thief. I mean, that's why I know to put it. I mean, it really, because there's stuff that they write up, and they tag each office for it, and everybody thinks that office is stealing money. So it's really kind of a problem.
If it don't get passed, then we go back to square one. We're trying to figure out how we're fixing it, right?
Yep. Which there's only two ways to fix it, and you're aware of it.
Yeah.
We implement the 57 Act in its entirety, or
We keep getting rolled up until we
switch to
can't.
the other thing, which is not feasible.
Kind of beat your head against a wall.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna be voting on sending this to the state, correct?
As a request.
As a request. Gotcha.
We don't know that it's going to happen, but we're going to act
Okay.
if it passes. All right, any
Hey,
other discussion?
Did CTAS look at that, or the county attorney?
They have not. I've done this from the review of the state legal team that looked at the private act.
Anything else?
And it will go in front of the state legal team again before it ever goes to the House or Senate.
So this is resolution 2-2, because the first one was 2. Okay.
All right, anything else? All right, let's do roll call.
Keith Barker.
Yes.
Shane Goodwin.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Danny Carver.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Good.
Christie Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Pass.
John Kissinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Brooks, tell us about the hospital.
Building committee met the other night, met with Mayor Collins and Ducktown Commissioner Allen, and they made us an offer on the hospital for buy out our share of it. I think we're all ready to get out of hospital business after, what is it, 8 years now?
We've been dealing with it a lot longer now.
I was gonna say a lot longer than that.
Doug, you got anything you wanna?
Well, I was waiting Thursday night, I didn't look at some basis just tonight. Basically, you know, it's October will be 7 years since we mowed, this thing's sitting there and it's going nowhere. And we know with the county's position, just like Ryan was saying earlier, you guys have to bid out to sell, it's a process for you guys. Our charter lets us buy and sell. So, we just feel like it's, if we're gonna have any kind of opportunity for health services, I mean, we wanna try it. It may work, may not, but one way or the other, you know, and, got some leads, I mean, got some stuff going on, you know, but hadn't pushed that envelope too far till we know what's, you know, if you're going to sell us your or whatever. And if you do, we've got all that, you know, we've got so many days in according to things, everybody got to read through there and get that done. We can do it pretty quick because we don't have to borrow the money or nothing, we've got the money to do it. You know, we don't have you checked in that, but, you know, if we could, but, we just want to change, you know, I mean, that, and I know it's sort of been, you hate to say it this way, it's a marriage that's up in there. And both sides try, we don't, I mean, really, it's hard to deal with, so. We have had people interested in town when they find out that there's two entities, one can't sell, the other can, and they just back out. Of course, we all been through the process of work. Everybody's got these great ideas and all this, and we find out in the end, they won't need to set them up in business, of course. There's just three of us, people make a decision, so we're gonna start out health service. We're gonna bust our butts. We got a 35-mile radius, 7 hospitals in this region, and we're hoping to start out with the emergency room and get that process back, and then just work with it. I don't know, just health services are the biggest thing, and then there's other options out there, but definitely want to keep it in the health because that'll bring jobs. And I found out, I mean, I work in Cleveland, I probably spend more money in Cleveland than I do here because I spend money where I work, and that's what I think we lost the first quarter after the hospital closed. Our revenues went down like 15%. So it does affect you when you lose that many jobs, and they were good paying jobs, so maybe somehow over time, but that's sort of what we're looking at, and get all that stuff back so we can get, because we're hurting, I mean, right now, really. And
What was your offer?
$600,000.
600,000?
Yeah, that's what, you know, when we all paid out, that's the county's portion, we all proper Hill counties, and then we paid $200, you know, so that's, we know we've all got more money in it than that, because it's costing us daily. You know, I mean, it's just a continued cost, and we've been lucky so far. I think it's been broken in twice, maybe, or something. Nothing really in there worth getting, but for where it's at, we look. You know.
Very lucky.
Yeah, that nobody has done more than that. We would love the opportunity to try. Whatever happens, you know, if we can get some services, that's great for the county. If we don't, then, you know, we'll start looking on that. Greg asked me one question the other day, and I don't know if he even want me to mention this or not, but he said, asked me if we were going to sell it to Buddy Haynes. I've never talked to Buddy Haynes about it, so I don't, you know, our thing is health service. That's what we got, that's what we want to do, you know. And I mean, that's a fine question, I don't mind it. But if any of you got any questions, got any idea or any questions you may want to ask or whatever, I mean, that's what we're going to try to do.
I have a question. Are you going to keep the deed like it kind of is now? Because it does say in it that it has to stay in healthcare. Is it going to stay like that? Is that going to be in the deed? Because I know that there's a lot of people that.
I mean, that's our primary goal. We're not wanting it for anything else.
But is it going to be right though? Because I looked over this and we are not going to have the deed, so I just didn't know, because I know in the original deed.
That was taken out of the deed. Very. That was drawn from Canada, from
Oxy Canada. Got all that cleared up. But anyway, we pretty well got all that took care of for us, into that crazy process. But our thing is healthcare. We want to try to do something with that. The building is still in good shape in the ER department that we're looking at. So.
I make a motion to approve and designate that money to build a courthouse.
I'll say it.
All right, Ms.
discussion, oh, sorry.
So we're going to, motion is
Motion to approve that sale and designate that money for the courthouse in District Three.
Approve sale. Second by Bush.
We still have to have a rendering of the reading of the motion to go with the motion. Robert had that, so you got that?
Will the type of building that is built, will it have to be approved by us?
Yes, that's all.
Because all I'll ever vote for will be all metal. Because we can't afford that piece.
Concrete slab and metal.
Yeah.
Where you go?
All right, Ace will read this resolution.
She was going to read resolution.
Absolutely.
Resolution 2-3, a resolution approving the commercial purchase and sale agreement between buyer, City of Ducktown, Tennessee, and seller, Polk County of Tennessee, shown as Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein, by reference authorizing and approving the sale of the undivided 3/4 interest owned by Polk County, Tennessee, in and of the property described in Exhibit B, attached hereto and incorporated herein, by reference to the City of Ducktown, Tennessee, for the amount of $600,000, and pursuant to the terms and the conditions set out in the commercial purchase and sale agreement, authorizing and directing the county executive to execute on behalf of Polk County, Tennessee, all documents set out in Exhibit C attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, and perform all acts necessary and appropriate to carry out the intent of this resolution, authorizing the director of the accounts and budgets to transfer the security deposits for Unit A, Unit B, and Unit C, and Unit D, identified in Exhibit D, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference to the City of Ducktown, Tennessee, at the closing, prorate for the month of the closing by monthly rent owed to Polk County, Tennessee for Unit A, B, C, and D, identified as Exhibit D. Attached hereto and incorporated herewith the reference, transfer of the city's portion of the prorated monthly rent to the City of Ducktown, Tennessee at the closing, and perform all acts necessary and appropriate to carry out the intent of this resolution. Whereas the Polk County, Tennessee currently owns an individual 3/4 interest in the City of Ducktown, Tennessee, currently owns an undivided 1/4 interest into the property described as Exhibit B, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference of property. And whereas the City of Ducktown, Tennessee desires to purchase from Polk County, Tennessee, the individual 3/4 interest owned by Polk County, Tennessee, in the property for the amount of $600,000 pursuant to the terms and conditions set out in the commercial purchase and sales agreement shown as Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. And whereas the County Commission believes it is the best interest of Polk County, Tennessee to sell all the individual 3/4 interest in the property to the City of Ducktown, Tennessee for the amount of $600,000 pursuant to the terms and conditions set out by the commercial purchase and sales agreement. And now therefore be it resolved by this county legislative body assembled that the commercial purchase and sales agreement between the buyer of the City of Ducktown, Tennessee, and the seller of Polk County, Tennessee, shown as Exhibit A, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference is approved. Number 2, that the sale of the individual 3/4 interest owned by Polk County, Tennessee, in and of the property described as Exhibit B, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference to the City of Ducktown, Tennessee, for the amount of $600,000 and pursuant to the terms and conditions sell out in the commercial purchase and sale agreement is authorized and approved, that the county executive is authorized and directed to execute on behalf of Polk County, Tennessee, all documents set out as in Exhibit C, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, and perform all acts on behalf of Polk County, Tennessee necessary and appropriate to carry out the intent of this resolution. The Director of Accounts and Budget is authorized and directed to transfer the security deposits for A, B, C, and D, identified in Exhibit D, attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference to the City of Ducktown, Tennessee, at the closing and the prorate for the month of the closing of the portion of the monthly rent owed to Polk County, Tennessee, for Unit A, Unit B, Unit C, and Unit D, identified as Exhibit E. attached here to and incorporated herein by reference, and transfer the city's portion of the prorated monthly rent to the city of Ducktown, Tennessee at the closing and performing of all acts necessary and appropriate to carry out with the intent of this resolution. Now therefore be it resolved that this resolution take effect from this day and after its passage, the public welfare requiring on this the 20th day of February 2024.
What were you reading? None of us had that.
This was prepared by Eric.
I've looked through this like 50 times.
I read the agreement, I just didn't have a resolution.
This is to give me the authority to do this.
We're down here all looking for it, we're like,
I'm sorry, I couldn't pick up and read, I mean, Eric said, but yes, this is the resolution that gives me the authority to go ahead and process what y'all want. And there's a whole lot more, I'm sure the paper.
Yeah, let's not get into all
We'll be sure to
that.
send you everything that you want.
Just got 15.
Get with us tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have that. We'll get Jackie.
The building committee been through this pretty, I'm not on the building committee, the building committee's been through this with the city.
That's not many rooms, but one time.
Yes.
It's got 2 rooms to it. Don't see any problem.
Do what now? We're gonna wait about a month, see how, what does work out or whatever. I've got something on.
Doug, you still give us 30 days to jack your work.
Yeah, we're not even worried about it.
That's all we want to know.
I just have to close the office.
We're not gonna let him leave, okay?
And y'all will also move all the water and electric over, right? Because electric was in my name. I don't know why, but they would not put it in Polk County government. So,
Trust me.
yeah.
But, yeah. All right, any other discussion? Anything else you all need to say?
Good.
All right, let's have a roll call.
Keith Parker,
Yes.
Shane Bowman,
Yes.
Greg Brooks,
Yes.
Danny Carver,
Yes.
Debbie Davis,
Yes.
Mush Davis,
Yes.
Christie Harden,
Yes.
Kelly Morgan,
yes.
John Kipinger,
Yes.
Samantha Franklin.
Yes.
We're out of the hospital business.
And you, Eric, you said.
Doug, hey Doug, we'll keep you in our fire.
Hopefully we'll have an ER in a few years. Mr. Brooks, room assignment.
Yeah, this is where the confusion was about Jackie moving out of the hospital building. This is just, Jackie had asked about, using old, veterans office in the basement for storage. Put what in there? Just like Christmas tree,
all that
yeah.
Christmas stuff and everything.
Yeah. Is anybody?
It's not good for anything else.
As long as it's not done until they get done making those new pipes.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta take everything out of the archive.
We'll have to move everything out of the other office soon anyway.
We'll rearrange everything again.
Hey, I'm used to it.
He's got something,
I
do we
make a
need to
motion
vote
to
on
approve
that?
the usage.
Okay. Got a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Was there any other rooms to be discussed in this group?
No, just, about the empty office.
What about this room over here?
Over community center, we moved Jack.
Well, that's what we're talking about. We're not in no hurry, we're gonna see how it goes with those.
I got you.
And then we'll look at that.
Something not?
I do know if she does move here, she's gonna need a little bit more room than she did when she left because of the driver's license.
She and all the way here.
I just need to know, I've already got it on hold, so just depends on if they
Well,
hold
we
it
need
for
to
me.
go ahead and approve before you can use that room in case it comes up, that you need it.
I mean, if they let it go, then we'll just have to get back in line for it again, I don't know.
I think we should go ahead.
I don't
Let's
know,
go
I
ahead
mean,
and
I don't
knock it
wanna
out.
cause any problems.
Go ahead and knock it out. You ain't gonna cause no problem.
I am not
But we
gonna
don't want
be,
you to lose something that's gonna be beneficial.
and then moving me from that building over
Office
there.
number when you come in.
Over here, if they put me back in that little closet, I can't do driver's license, no, it
When you come in
won't
the
happen.
That'd
We
be a
have
huge
another room
service
up
for
here
people
that
up
she can
here.
use.
That, the one they looked at was right up there, when you come in the door.
The one that's in the door, that's where the seniors have their computers. This first one.
Turn you on to the door.
We walk in with the rolling
So
pin.
you want what we, yeah, that's where the seniors have their computer labs at, is this first room.
Is there anything in there?
Computers.
So
No, I mean, I didn't know I was in the other.
they just got that grant not long ago. You know, and their
Is there
meals,
another
that's
room
where
that's
the,
big enough?
No,
Okay.
no.
that's the first room. If that's when you're talking about, one right when you first come in, that's where they got
In the
their.
front, in the front doors.
Was there another one that's that size or bigger?
Oh, there, I have to leave that office over there.
Something.
I have to leave. I have 60 days once the closing to get out. So either there's three options, guys, and I'm gonna, this, you can quote me. I will either not do driver's license and get back in that closet, and everybody else will have to come back down the mountain, do everything else that we do at the main office. Okay? Not my choice. Okay?
Option one's no good, so.
Option two, give me that front office like I asked to begin with. I can bring a driver's license, everything else can move back over here just the way it is at the other one. Option three, I don't even have to have office up here.
There you go.
You know, that's your three options. You know, it's not by law that I have to have an office up here. It is courtesy of me to put an office up here, and it's full service. Everything that we do right now, we have, everybody does not have to come down the mountain for anything anymore. Nothing. If I get the driver's license.
And if you ask me, I mean, we don't want to lose it, we're not going to.
Oh, I know.
We don't need to lose this
I know
service
you.
over.
And I don't wanna be the reason why
Yeah.
we're still in the hospital business either. That has to actually be done. And I don't have a problem, I just do not want to cause any problems like what happened the last time before all this. And I
Yeah.
won't.
I'm
I will
gonna,
be drugged through what
I'm
I
gonna
did.
vouch for this too,
Yes.
because I've been cussed out a few times.
I will not be drugged through what I did last time to hold an office up here. Will not happen.
If we do this, it'll be us. It'll be the commission.
It is not me.
Yeah.
It is not me. So y'all just do what you got to with me.
Is there another room to put all that stuff in? That's over here? That's in the,
The only offices I know that are up here, the one that I have once a month in the very back, and then you have,
My old one, I think, is still.
the next one though, that's probation. And then the next one is the VA office, and then the next one is Jackie's old office, and you have the bathroom, and you have the senior center director, and you have Gina's office, this one with the window on the front, with a roll-up door, and then all the senior stuff, the computers and all that is stored over on the big office, or the one over here.
How many computers are in there?
I think it's 2 or 3, and it was part of a grant that we got, and so they roll them out and everything else. They have classes to which seniors come up. I mean, and there's some, I can drop names on too, but there's some even from our side that come up here that do that. That's part of the program through aging area and disability.
Is there a way to bring the computers in here to use them and then put them in are they on a roller? Can they
Well,
be?
some of them are and some of them are not. That's the way, but it has to be where it can be locked up and maintained. That's how come that room's locked a lot of times.
So,
And then also their meals are there, because our Meals on Wheels, you know, we have to have somebody come up and come back down. That's another thing. If anybody wants to drive up down the mountain every Friday, I'm looking for somebody to take the drive.
but we could get a lock on the freezer and put it in here, cause they make freezers with locks.
Like I said, I just know that according to what we had to have a locked room for those to be in, and that's how come that's in there.
Could we put them in Jackie's old office and walk them up in there?
I'm gonna plead like Jackie. I'm gonna say that you all are the commission and you can do whatever you wanna do. But I'm like Jackie, I'm not gonna get myself beat around like I got as well. My office got lit
I'm
up
thinking that.
constantly.
Well, what we'll do,
Well, it's in our hands, and we've got to make it work for everybody,
we'll put this
instead
on,
of just one group.
we'll put it on the agenda to be voted on at the March meeting. And in the meantime, we'll try to work toward a solution, if we have to have another building committee
I was
meeting.
gonna say, that's a building
But-
committee.
Ultimately,
So we'll vote on it at the March meeting. We got time, right? 60 days.
Hey, until y'all kick me out over there, I'm staying.
But ultimately, I mean,
We gotta make it work for the driver's license.
Right.
not just select everybody, just saying.
And everybody up here, I'm sure utilizes the driver's license.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We gotta make it work somehow.
We do them every day at the main office.
I had to go get my last one.
It's 30 days, too long to keep it on, we'll get
I
rid
don't
of
know,
it.
I'll message you tomorrow and ask you if you can hold it for 30 days. I just don't want to be put back on the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah.
No,
because we just got approved for it.
Yeah, I think I'll work to get my lost one.
But have them send it on,
Then I'll have it,
Yes, we
tell
can
them
do
send it on.
well, they'll bring it up and set it up where it's gonna be.
But you don't want to set it up and then have to turn around and move it.
I got you. Do it twice.
Yeah. So I have
But
to
is it
have
gonna
first
keep us
one.
in it if we?
Can you go ahead and pay for it as well? Can you not go ahead and pay for it?
I don't have to pay for it, it's free.
Well, then just go I'm sure if they will get it out of their hands, they come back at some point in time.
Yeah, so what?
Reset it. I just have to bring it, set it up,
Yeah,
do that.
okay.
Just call it back.
So we are gonna put that on the agenda for March
To be voted on.
to be voted on. So you've gotta have a committee meeting and get it decided where we're gonna put everybody.
Or, Jackie and Robbie talk to the right people, see,
Well,
or
but I
not,
think
we'll
we'll
have a
stay out
meeting.
of it.
Me and Robbie told him to stay out of it.
That puppy's-
It's best if the commission is the bad
So
boss.
you're gonna be the boss, get the committee meeting and tell us what
And
we're
we don't
gonna
wanna
do.
be bad dogs, but we gotta make
But I will say,
everybody.
if I do get the driver's license thing at the office now, I have to have somewhere to put it when you move next week. That's all I'm asking. And it has to be where she's at, because she'll have to help if something goes wrong right away.
Let's go on to the next item, which is a request for proposal, trade shop building, Copper Basin High School.
Oh, was that a motion about?
Oh, sorry.
How you storage room too? John Holt made a motion, oh yeah.
Yeah, you're good with storage building?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Storage
I'll
room.
second.
Storage room.
Okay.
All right,
It's the OPA office, right?
Yeah.
Do that, yeah.
all right, so you got that down. All right, roll call. Roll call. Any more discussion? If not, roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Danny Carver.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Yes.
Sorry. agenda.
Oh, that's okay. Now, the Ducktown office, we're tabling to the March meeting.
Right.
One second. Try to work it out this month. When
Now,
something
so,
big.
Okay, now the request for the trade shop building, Copper Basin. It doesn't have anybody's name on it, it says PCD.
Polk County Board of Education.
I was emailed this by Treva. That's all I know.
So this is what, just a bid that's going out
All right.
for RFP?
I'm thinking so, that they want to do some kind of building at the high school.
This thing, budget amendment passed.
I didn't see anything on
No,
that.
there's no budget.
So it's just information.
I guess it's just to show what they want.
Information, because
Yeah.
it says they will receive the March 1st
Oh, okay.
at 1. Bids will be received until March 1st. So
I
as
guess
soon
it's
as
just
you
like
see
that
that,
FYI. Okay, all right. Now, Mr. Hatcher, you talked to us about the three corners there.
Yes, ma'am. And I'd like to recognize Audrey with CETA, Southeast Tennessee Development District. She's a great big speaker, if you can't tell, she's up front. But, so, just to kind of bring everybody up to speed, the Cliff Notes version, myself and Keith Parker, we had went to a meeting back a couple weeks ago. And this is an economic development partnership between three corners. So it's Georgia, North Carolina, and Polk County. Has absolutely nothing to do with tourism. Did I make that clear? Yes.
One more time.
Absolutely nothing to do with tourism. This is about economic growth and development. In the meeting that Keith and I were in, so how this happened is power companies, utility companies, there's always monies that's set out there. So there's about $200,000 that could be applied for in grant funding. This is the opportunity for us to work together, not only with neighboring counties, but of course, other states. So we're having to work with North Carolina and Georgia. And so with this resolution that I'll read in just a moment, this is just getting those first couple of steps. Correct, Audrey? This is very early on. This is very young in the planning stages. In that meeting that we had, it was talked about power, water, sewer, and gas. And I think by the time we got done, we moved number 1 to number 4, and water, sewer, gas, and electricity. So this will be an opportunity to see some areas on the east side of the county, to see some water lines done. Cherokee County was also talking about they wanted water. Georgia talked about though they wanted. With that, I'll make the reading of this resolution, which will be resolution 2-4.
Yes.
And like I said, this is very early on. Eric is even trying to work through some things. There's a little bit of issue with North Carolina wanting to try to indemnify us with them, and legally we can't do that. So Eric's still working on all that, but this is just a resolution just to let us formally get started. Resolution 2-4. Polk County, Tennessee, a RISE planning grant application is a multi-state infrastructure project. Whereas Polk County, Tennessee recognizes the imperative to strategize and sustain growth and aims to enhance public service in collaboration with Fannin County, Georgia, Cherokee County, North Carolina. Whereas the 3 counties qualify to seek funding through the Appalachian Regional Incentive for a Stronger Economies Grant, or a RISE, a program designed as a catalyst for regional economic transformation through collaborative projects across multiple states. And whereas the 3 counties seek to apply for the RISE planning grant in the amount of $100,000, it will require a 40% match. With this match, contribution from equitable shared among Polk County, Tennessee, Fannin County, Georgia, Cherokee County, North Carolina, is determined by the 2024 Appalachian Regional Commission County Economic Distress Status. And now therefore, be it hereby resolved that Polk County is duly authorized to undertake all necessary measures to prepare, submit, and request documentation for the Appalachian Regional Commission RISE grant. Further resolved that Polk County, Tennessee affirms its commitment to provide a 15% matching fund for the requirements of service from a qualified consultant tasked with delivering planning service for the tri-state infrastructure system. Therefore, further resolved that the county executive is hereby empowered to execute all relative documents pertaining to the Appalachian Regional Commission RISE grant. Even further resolved that in the event that the grant is successfully funded, that the Southeast Industrial Development Association will assume administrative responsibilities ensuring the effective implementation of this proposed project. Be it therefore resolved, and then that this resolution take effect from this day's passage and the public welfare requiring it on the 20th day of February 2024.
I make a motion to approve it.
I say.
Any discussion?
We've actually moved up from distress.
We're on transitional.
Transitional.
Transition.
And I don't know how that happened.
You and Fannin are both transitional, whereas Cherokee is still distressed.
Yeah, I don't understand how all of a sudden we wipe of a pen, I don't know, but, and they'll all agree, Alder may or may not, the Southeast Tennessee Development District sees it the same way we do. How are we still not a distressed county? Like I said, I guess somebody swapped a pen and put it to transition.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call.
Keith Barker,
Yes.
Shane Bowman, Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Danny Carver.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Yes.
All right. Commissioner Carter, you want to talk about services?
Yeah, I'll start it out with Highway 30 that goes through Reliance, Fish Creek area, starts at Lakes Valley, 18 wheelers. You know, it's not very much room, 30 road, that's max again, as I understand. And, as what we're trying to do is get with the GPS navigation, like Google and all that, to have this directions taken off for 18 wheelers, right, Robert?
Yes.
You know, and I think we were told by TDOT, we couldn't designate no 18 wheelers because they would not provide funding if we did that. So, you know, this is just to try to get with whoever the GPS navigation web services and see if they can take this directions off for 18 wheelers.
Can I ask a question before we read this? Is it possible to add our road up to this? Airport and Pleasant Hill because they literally get stuck there all the time and we have no truck route signs.
So you, I don't know exactly, I'm sure that we can. It's just that this right here, especially with it being a state route, this is what the real push is. Yours is a county road.
Yeah, and I mean, they get stuck and then they're stuck there for hours.
And so,
And it's tore up our road and the chances of getting it paved, I mean.
and that would, I don't know before I make this statement, but I would dare say it being county road, it'd be something that'd be a little easier dealing with the state.
Yeah, can we look into that? Like, to do it the same way, because, I mean, they're literally, they can't turn that way, and, I mean, luckily we have a Fannin County, cop that lives on our road, and he'll, like, CB them, and then back them up before they ever go to get unstuck, but he can't catch all of them. I mean, it's to the point to where, like, this guy that lives on the corner, I mean, he's like, I need to figure out why my yard keeps getting tore up. So, I mean.
Is there not any road signs, Samantha, or they
He
just
put
don't
them,
have?
like, they're not coming from, yeah, I mean, the way that they come from the state of Georgia,
Yeah.
like, Georgia don't have it on their side, but like, if they would just take it off the route, I mean, they wouldn't come that way, but like, the way Roy Jean has put them up, they're like facing this way, and by the time they've already crossed the 4-lane, well, what are they gonna turn around?
Well, so that needs to be addressed.
Cause
Pronto,
they're coming
doesn't
off
it?
of a state highway, I mean, they're coming off 64, so like, it's still coming off the state road, so.
That's the same way this one, Running Road, I was going to paved it. Probably the best shape that road's been in, and I've lived there 59 years, and never seen it that good. But 18-wheelers usually just coming and going, and there's no way you can, I talked to Gordon about it, he said, if I put a sign 10 yards or 10 feet on Running Road, no 18-wheeler, he said, by the time they see it, they're gonna already be on Running Road, and they can't find help or get out. So he said, and the state will not do it.
So
Because
actually,
it's not a state
the
road.
signs need to be on a state
State
road.
yeah.
Tell
Give them
them,
a warning
not,
before they
yeah.
do that, yeah.
Yeah, because I
And
mean,
we have
if
to
we
have that
don't,
approved from the state. I
if
mean,
we don't start making an effort, I mean, these people can start suing the county because, I mean, they're running their yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
This is based off one that was done in 2022, the original resolution on the designation of that
I
road.
remember when that happened.
I'll get with you and send you that resolution. Matter of fact, I had to get Jackie to find it for me today. That's the one you can send me. I'll send it to you along with this, and I think it'll be a pretty easy way to fix that.
yeah.
So curious on 30, on Highway 30.
Yes, sir.
That being a state road, you keeping the tractor trailers off of, so what about people that log?
It did not include logging
Yep,
trucks.
should not, yep, will not.
Or anything that had a business on that road
And,
as supply on demand.
and that's another thing that I'd like to make clear, because this has already generated a little misconception around some. We're not asking to take Highway 30 off that route because we know that there's businesses up there. We're just asking for it to put on those electronic devices whenever, whoever types it in on their phone, that it's recommend, this is not a truck
Google
route,
Map doesn't send them out as truck route.
because it's 5 minutes faster. That's what it says on their phone. But it's not 5 minutes faster. And like Samantha says, I mean, we had the cream cheese truck turned over in Johnny Dunn's field, and I mean, it was fully loaded. They've knocked head walls off the bridges. I mean, Bill lives there. It's bad. It is bad. And there's nowhere for them to go once they get in there.
People are gonna get killed, and then you'll see what's
I mean, I've got pictures of school buses pushed up. I've got pictures from residents, sitting here hollering at them, telling them, I ain't gonna move. And they're like, you got to move or I can't move. And then, and I understand that. And I understand that those residents in that Highway 30 area. And when we asked TDOT to do what they done, and at the cream cheese fiasco, I was there. You had TDOT said, somebody needs to do something. Okay, y'all on the road. Then here comes THPs. Boy, somebody needs to do something. Y'all are law enforcement. Yeah, I mean, and I understand that a lot of people think, well, what more can the county legislative body do or myself? I don't know, but I hope that this will help to at least get it off of those electronic devices. And surely it will, so. Resolution 25.
Move to approve.
Thank you much. Thank you much. Because John Hoyt says you can't do them that way.
much to read.
Much I appreciate it, ladies. John Hoyle.
I'm trying to help you out.
Oh, yeah, you jumped right on it.
Resolution of the governing body of Polk County, Tennessee to request correction to the data fields for travel and traffic control. Whereas the county of Polk has designated Highway 30 from Highway 64 to Highway 411 in Polk County, Tennessee as a no-through truck, 18-wheeler, tractor-trailer, and similar due to the increased damage to personal property and to the road stability as referred in the Polk County Resolution number 54/2022. And whereas GIS, GPS, web mapping platforms, and other utilizing pre-planned and en-route live navigation maps and systems have the road listed as a truck usable or alternative route approved. Now therefore be it resolved by a vote from the Board of the County Commissioners of Polk County in meeting in an irregular session on the 20th day of February 2024 at the Copper Basin Community Center in Ducktown, Tennessee, that a request be made by the Polk County Legislative Body for companies such as Google, MapQuest, and all others to correct the mapping information in and on their systems and to further add Highway 30 in the Greasy Creek, Reliance, Tennessee area as a no-through trucks.
Move to approve.
Second.
We got a move and a second, right? You got any discussion at all? We good? All right, roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yeah.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Danny Carver. Danny Carver.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Good.
Chrissy Harden. Yes. Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
Samantha Franklin.
Yes.
All right, finally, we have the Sheriff's Department.
Motion to approve the M&M for $87,000.
Second.
All right. Yeah.
Is that correct, Sheriff? M&M for $87,000 with an additional 10,006, well, 11,000.
Yes, sir. Yes. Over 98,000.
Yes, sir. But the bid that be accepted is the M&M bid for $87,000.
That was the one that they thought was best, and it should come in as the,
It was the lowest bid, and they said it was the best bid.
Through service every year.
that's right.
Yeah.
Who was it?
M&M.
It's M&M micro systems. All right. Do we have, we've got it for the 87, we've got a motion in a second. Any other discussion? Second. Who did you say? Bush.
Yes, somebody.
Whichever one you want.
Right one there.
He's done it.
I wonder.
I love my job. Just write somebody down, you know. All right, do a roll call on that.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yeah.
Greg Brooks. Danny Carver.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Chrissy Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger.
Yes.
And Samantha Franklin.
Yes.
All right, now we're gonna go back to budget amendments. Since we just, yes, we're gonna fix that on the budget amendment. John, what, to get care of you?
No, I mean, it depends on what y'all want to do, the way I've got it.
Well, true. So if you guys would look at the budget amendment 188, it's the one that says number one. They're gonna need an extra 11,000 pulled out to make this. So we have been brought to taking it out of the, 47,801 COVID grant funds. Adding the 23 to an 11 would make it 34,000, transferred into the 99,100 for the same amount of 34,000.
Motion to approve budget amendment 188, number one.
Taking it all out of the COVID money.
The 34,000, yeah.
With a total of 34,000.
To
That's the 23 plus the 11. That 11 is due to the funds for the equipment needed for the people that was, wasn't known exactly well, it was known, but it was missed. So,
And our maintenance and upkeep on this is in our operating budget now, right? All, maybe $1,000 with our built-in increases. But we're done funding that through the budget.
All the 4,000.
all the 4,000.
All but 4.
So that budget meant 188,
Yes.
would be a total of 34,000.
They go,
Budget number 188, I make the motion.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just say my piece, and I'm not against you getting any of this. I am against the funding source. Because the last time when we were at the jail, when we had our committee, we talked about doing the reserve line, which is out of the jailhouse workhouse. And then we talked about taking the rest of it out of fund balance. So when we set this up in 188, that was for capital projects, considering every building we have in the county is falling apart. And so we were using one-time money for that purposes. Don't have an issue with this at all. So I'm gonna no vote it based off, because if it was out of fund balance or the $900,000 of the COVID money we saved on the internet, then I wouldn't have a problem with that. But when we start spending our capital projects money, when everything starts collapsing, we have to take debt out to repair something we already had money to fix. So that's my piece. Not gonna argue with anybody. So that's where I'm thinking.
So why didn't we take it out of the 900 fund that we have for COVID money that was supposed to be used for stuff like this?
That was my recommendation during the committee meeting.
Because, I mean, I'm all for them getting this, but when this money right here was set aside for capital funds to fix buildings, especially if it's leaking, we've had multiple pipes bust, and we have $900,000 just sitting there, and we're taking it out of that fund.
Well, I worked on the fund, but the travel money was put in by us here just a few months ago, and I argued it.
Yeah, for capital fund, that's what our resolution
It was
says.
put in a year ago, February
It
of
used to be
'23,
time For what was needed for one-time expenditures, it could just be.
for
dropped
capital
out.
projects is what it's listed.
Uh,
I'm not gonna argue with you,
Well, I'm
John.
not either.
If that's
I
what
just don't-
everybody wants to do, that's fine. I'm gonna say my piece because that,
I mean,
I made the motion to set that resolution up, to set it aside for capital projects. This is not a capital project.
and we have money in
It's a
another
need, though.
place.
It's a need.
It is a
one-time
need.
expenditure.
And so
It
we're,
is.
we're not saying it's not a need.
Yeah, but my question is, why did you not take it out of the other money that was free, and we have to show where, it was going towards stuff that could be used for accounting, instead of using something that was just for capital funds?
The reason I won't leave it in the capital fund project, the main reason is because the courthouse coming up here. I mean, we're gonna need, money to work on that.
And you've got Miles's property and the money that we just put in.
Well, that's right, but you don't know how much things are gonna cost.
And the courthouse in Benton, I mean, it's not in excellent shape. I mean, it needs a lot. And you're using money that's designated just for stuff like that. I don't get it. When we have other funds that we haven't used, that was given to us for free money, that is just sitting there.
Is this our only option?
No.
No.
Brooks had mentioned earlier using fund balance, but you're going to put your fund balance for that.
That's not gonna deplete the fund.
34, if it depletes,
Every bit
34,000
take out
depletes our
that you
fund
save
balance.
will
Then
take
we're in
out
bad
the
shape.
But you said it's gonna deplete the fund
I
balance?
said that will start depleting some fund balance, Brooks. I didn't hear you say anything about 900,000 when you was talking about fund balance there.
I said the fund balance, the COVID money, there's options, whatever y'all wanna do. I'm just saying, if you don't agree with taking out the capital project fund, we got the COVID money, we got the fund balance.
Would it be easy to do it out of the COVID fund?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've got the numbers. Anybody got a copy of the budget with them?
On our phones.
I'm sure you do somewhere.
Probably got a copy of the budget with them.
It's not the same COVID money, it's different. This was the tribal
This is travel
assistance.
money, 188's travel. Well, part of 188's travel.
188 is, the whole fund is that.
Well, yes, this is part of it. What we're talking about.
And we got,
Remainder out of
Which one is it?
101,39,000, which is your fund balance.
Which is it?
Take it out of fund balance.
You
It's
can
gonna
take
answer
the,
the fund itself, it's 128 or something like that.
you can take the 34,000 out of 101,3900. That's your undesignated fund balance.
Or you can take it out of that 900,000, which is what,
You can take
Fund
it out of
128? It's in a different fund all of itself.
I've got all of them here, hold on.
Okay, to you smart people that knows everything and I know nothing. If you fund balance,
Isn't it 128,
Go
Robert?
do 128 instead.
And I do apologize that I figured I just called Patrice, so that was my phone call there. But yes, she said it wasn't in Fund 128.
Well, you gotta bring it out of 128 and put it into expenditure. And then you've gotta bring it over and put it into,
Right, you would just change the fund number on this budget amendment from 188 to 128.
yep. Let's see.
And change the revenue code, which if you've got the revenue set up and you got Fund 128 pulled up,
I gotta find it. I'm sure it's on here. This is our whole budget that Patrice sent to us.
just be like a, for in revenue.
I mean, if nothing else, it can be listed if
It's
it's
128.
134, it's COVID money.
Yes.
We'll take care
But
of
there
it.
should just be one revenue
Yes.
source in there, so.
Yeah.
We get that taken care of.
All right, so we need an amended motion. Take it from 188 to 128.
Is that the fund balance or is that the ARPA?
That's the
That's the
total
total.
100,000.
Yeah, that's not the.
But how much of that you say is good? It's not 900,000
All right, we got a motion.
second,
We're doing 128 instead of 188.
yeah.
Same amount, 34.
Okay.
And they're gonna get us the rest of the numbers tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. Anything else? 1, 2, 3, roll call.
Keith Parker,
Yes.
Shane Bowman,
Yes.
Ray Brooks.
Yes.
Danny Carver.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
Mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
Samantha Trent.
Yes.
Nope. Then,
Thank y'all.
thank you. If you'll look at 101 general,
Okay.
the next one is the line 34,510, 64,000, going into 54230,499 for correction, other supplies at 64. We now have line item 49800, where we were going to transfer the 34,000 into the 54230,499. So we need to also amend that to the 128 for the other supplies.
Yeah, that number should stay the same, so it's good.
So everything, that, I think that, and then we also have a few more in 101. 101,39,000 is the undesignated general fund of 122.95. 533000355 for travel at 122.95. 46,130 child restraint program is for 1,423.03 going into the 55,110,599 for the local help. 14,2303. We have 39,000 into the from the undesignated general fund of 15,250 to 51,800,336 for the building equipment maintenance at 15,250. We also have 34,510. It's a reserve for the register of deeds at 2,000. going into 51600-399 to contracted services of 2,000. So that's all for the general fund.
Did you put the one for the jail for, 32, number 32?
Number 32.
I'll make a motion to do 29 through 32.
Any discussion?
I didn't include the 28.
You didn't include 20. Okay.
I did 29 through 32.
29 through 32. All right,
So what do we, so 29 to 32?
let's do 29 through 32 and get a vote on that. Then we'll discuss 28. All right, any discussion on that? We'll get a motion in a second.
We're approving, yes, I'm gonna second on 29 through 32.
Right, we don't have anything on 28 yet.
Yeah, we'll do it separate. Y'all can do it separate.
Okay.
Any discussion on anything? All right, roll call.
Keith Parker.
Yes.
Shane Bowman.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Danny Carver.
Yes.
Debbie Davis.
Yes.
mush Davis.
Yes.
Christie Harden.
Yes.
Kelly Morgan.
Yes.
John Kipinger. Samantha Trent.
Yes.
All right. Go back to 28. That's a travel.
We set our travel balances when we did our budget. I set those actually when we did our budget. We don't use any money when we go to travel, so. And Robbie pays for his own too.
This was for the General Sessions Judge Conference to travel to Murfreesboro for yearly conference. Travel was cut $250 from last budget, so this is needed for my yearly training to keep my law license active and current and is still within proposed budget from last year and every year prior that I've been judged. This is from Brooklyn.
How much was her line this year?
We set all of them at $250. Everybody's.
And when we done this, that's what me and Greg was just kind of talking a little bit about. Do you remember, Samantha, did we make a statement saying that if anything was mandatory, that we would come back? I'm just asking because I don't remember. I know it was a big discussion topic, but I can't remember. Because, our big thing is always, we decided that, look, we want to pay for everything that is mandatory for our office holders to go to. We want to pay for that, but we couldn't afford to pay for just extra training that they wanted and maybe come in handy, but if it wasn't mandatory, we were going to rule it out.
What we told them, we was at a budget meeting up here, that was gonna cut it back as far as we could, and if anybody had legitimate travel, bring it to us and show it to us, and we'd do a budget amendment to cut it. That's what we said. So was this mandatory?
According to her, it's her yearly training to keep her law license active.
That's no big deal.
Well, okay, she's not a lawyer, she can't be a judge. I think that's mandatory.
I've done more than once that, if we do pass this, that we have some more that be coming to us because,
Absolutely.
I'll go ahead and tell you, I'll be bringing
they ain't gonna stay in the budget.
Well, and this is what I'm trying, that's why I brought it up, because I don't want, I'm not out to be against anybody or for anybody. No, I don't think you can make it no clear. If it's not mandatory, we're not paying it. But if it's mandatory, I feel like we need to pay it.
I just want to do what we told them we'd do that night. We said if it's legit, bring it to us and we'll cut it to the
So
budget.
do we need to send her a message and say, provide us with proof?
Well, that law license thing.
That's pretty much proof.
I mean, I can go to Murfreesboro and send y'all a receipt and say that was required for our county commission. I mean, y'all gonna approve it? I mean, I leave tomorrow if y'all wanna pay for my stuff too, because it's a mandatory vacation from all of this.
Clear your head.
Well, like I say, it puts us between a rock and a hard place, but I don't wanna be, you know, I wanna be fair. I just want to be fair.
If it's mandatory?
Yeah.
No
But
problem.
how do we know?
Yeah,
So how you gonna clarify or classify what's mandatory and what not?
yeah. Well,
Mandatory have to
when
renew
they,
my
when
license.
somebody, I mean, mandatory, her license is mandatory. Now, that's
If she
mandatory,
don't have her
She-
license,
she
she don't
don't.
work.
Have her license, she
I'm
can't
with you.
you know.
do anything.
And it's just like, and then when the state sends out individuals, Jackie, Gina, this and that, saying, you are required to be at this conference. You are required to be. That's mandatory.
Absolutely agree.
Now, when they just say, oh, we just wanted to go because we wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, I do, from any employee. But we pretty much made it clear that that was one way that we was gonna have to cut out some money that we didn't ever have at the end of budget time. So we said mandatory. And so, you know, I mean, does everybody see, is everybody in agreement with that? I mean, so I guess we can consider this mandatory.
Any attorney would have to go keep their law license up, whether they're judge or not.
Yeah.
Just curious.
So that's a cost.
That's true,
to an
and
attorney.
that's another thing.
That's a cost to
Yeah.
an attorney.
That's part of your cost as an attorney.
So Shane asked me, and I'll put myself on the line, you know, we have Sethra in the county, and there's Sethra grants, and there's things. I don't have to go, but I go because we have Sethra. And that goes to show that support. So I'm just saying, there's the things that I'll go and do, yeah. You know, I'm sure, I'm just saying, whenever all the biosolids and stuff's going on, and John and I was out till 1 o'clock that night going, did I have to go? No, but it was awful nice for those that got some information. Now, did I bill the county back for that? No, I did not. But you all have said, and I have done, and I have paid. I'm talking about me. I've stayed within my 250 this year, and I still went. I done almost 1,000 miles a couple weeks ago. So if I have to go, or if I go because there's things that come into this county, am I gonna be able to bring mine back?
Well,
If it's mandatory.
yeah.
I'm the only one here that don't have an issue with the training and the stuff when it's needed. If it's needed to help you better yourself and do your job, I don't have a problem with that. I realize I'm in the minority. So, yes, I would approve yours.
I'm just saying, I just want you to have the record.
But most of the time, I'm not saying all the time, most of the time when you go to those things, I mean, I don't know what percent, but the county executive is requesting you to be there.
Yeah, and I
If
think,
you're requested,
If you're requested,
then that's
and I-
mandatory.
yeah, but I
Well,
pay
no,
for
I
it.
know, and you've not turned it in, I
No, I
know
have
that.
not.
But if you're requested, now, if you
Because
just
I
say,
saved that budget.
I need to go, because I want to
Are we
go,
gonna
Requested and
fund
mandatory, two
stuff for her
different
license
things.
or not?
Mandatory means you have to be there. Requested means they want you.
Getting off track.
well, it's kind of like a beautician license. You gotta have a license to be a beautician.
But she's gonna continue being an attorney.
Yeah, I'm just
I don't care to pay it. I mean, I don't care what y'all want.
I don't know.
It's fine with me. I don't care. It's
All
not that
right, I need a
much.
motion so we can
$1,200.
move forward.
Okay.
I make a motion to decline.
Anybody want to second that motion?
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion to decline this. Any discussion before we roll call? All right, roll call it.
So this is to decline.
To decline.
I also have another question. Is that not a Zoom meeting as well? Because most of our training now is Zoom. Or
Probably
online to
not.
our camp.
Probably-
are anymore.
I cannot do a Zoom meeting for
Mine
my,
wasn't.
to renew my license currently. I have to be so many hours in person.
Okay, so this is to decline. Hold on, guys.
You're fine.
Number 28. Okay, so this is to decline. Keith Barker.
Pass.
Shane Bowman.
Pass.
Greg Brooks.
Pass. I'm a follower, not a leader.
Dennis Carter.
Don't listen.
Yes to decline. Debbie Davis.
Pass.
Mush Davis.
Yeah.
Chrissy Harden.
No.
Kelly Morgan.
No.
John Pippinger.
Yes.
It is, I'm like, I don't know what are we doing again?
Samantha Trent.
Yes.
Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 passes, and 2 noes.
That's 10, yep.
So,
It fails.
Dead in the water. Next.
all right, so. Then do
Well,
we?
wait a minute, does she get her money or?
No,
No.
no,
No, we got it. It just
that
got,
vote's not come yet.
no, we got out yet.
Well, maybe next year they can present their case.
Hell, I'm confused, I've been on here 30 years.
I'm confused. Okay, so do we make a motion, if anybody wants to do a motion to pass it?
Does anybody want to do a motion to pass this?
Well, I'll make a motion to pass it. I don't know if it's going to go
All right,
anywhere.
do we have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call. This is to pass this.
This
Well, I
is to
just
pass
want to have a little discussion there. We need to clarify better what mandatory is.
That's what,
I realize that there is a problem with that, and we need to clarify that somehow, what mandatory is. I'm not against paying people to do what they have to do,
yeah.
but I think some of them maybe take it to the extreme.
Right.
So,
I agree.
I don't think she is.
If
Well,
it,
I'm not
if it
saying, I'm not
requires
pointing
you
the
to
finger
do
at
that.
anybody specifically, I'm just saying, sometimes it gets abused, I think.
Oh, agreed.
So-
Agreed, totally.
We need to clarify
if you're
what
not
mandatory
voluntarily going to something and it requires you to be there, or you have to have it for your license, for your education, or to do your job, we should take it.
Well, I agree with Keith, you know, because if we do, when this new, it's going to open up for everybody to present.
Well, I will say this, there's one
We're
meeting,
trying
I
to
can
get
go to
budget
every
with it.
meeting.
That's the only reason
I
I'm.
could go to 15 meetings a year if I wanted to go.
Right.
Coat meeting where all the elected officials can go, I don't go to. I get nothing out of that. There's one meeting that I have every year with every county clerk in the state of Tennessee that I go to. I can sit down, I can talk to them, I can talk to everybody that I do work with in my office. That's the only meeting I go to. That's it. $250 gonna pay for it? No. But if I have to pay the rest of it, I'll pay it. But, you know, I do go to is it mandatory that I go? No.
Yeah,
Does it help me at my job? Yes.
yeah. And, you know, and that's such a sticky, it's
So it
sticky.
just depends
It's,
on how
you
you're
know,
gonna,
right.
how you're gonna do.
You know.
Here's
I'd like,
one more
I'd like
thing
to
to
clarify that I'm not saying Brooklyn is abusing this. I'm just saying I think it does get abused.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
agree.
we need to come up with some kind of solution about what's mandatory and what's not, clarify that in some way.
If it's education,
Well, when you start opening that door, though,
really
you better have some money. That was what I'm saying, when you start opening that door.
Like the
For them
Brooklyn
to have.
situation, and I will say, I'm sure Lawson is keeping a license in that.
I think you should just give them an amount and that's it.
Well, that's what we
That's
tried,
That's
but
what
here
I'm
we're back to this.
But we told them, when we cut it,
Yeah.
if you come back to us
But
and
she
it's
gonna
legit
start doing what she's
mandatory,
doing.
we'll do a budget amendment.
I understand being nice, but you're either in a budget business or you're not.
I'll pay $122.99.
So we got,
over the
But here's one more issue, and I'm gonna pick on Bo and use him for example. And he's not done nothing, I don't even know if you've ever even went to training.
Well, that's
But just say, we put Bo's money in his line for travel. And through the year, he went to one or two that wasn't required and he used that money. Okay, then that money's gone, and then something comes up that is required,
Tough luck.
you know, what do we do then? I'm just using Bo, I throw him on the bus, he's sitting there.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they used it during the year for something that wasn't required,
Then you
and
don't
they
pay.
come up zero on that line, and then he's got one he's required to go to.
You gotta pay it. Based on what y'all just said, you've got to pay it.
Yeah.
So what we need.
What he's saying is, once we set a fee, he's saying don't give no more, mandatory, unmandatory,
that makes
whatever.
Go ahead, Kelly.
There it is.
So what I'm thinking going forward, we need to do is address it in the policies, in the travel policy, and say, when you submit your travel request, it has to be mandatory with something showing that it is mandatory.
Right, we need a letter, we need a
That's not
receipt,
in our
something.
travel policy, like it was at one point in time in our travel policy to say you have to submit, and it may have changed since the last time I was here, that if you were getting food for the day, like if your conference provided it, you didn't get to count that on your, is it still that
It's
way?
still that way.
Okay, you don't get to count that, so like they have to provide that to us, an agenda, then maybe they should print something out that says it's mandatory when they turn it in, and then this year with budget, we'll kind of,
No,
the consensus
All you gotta do
of
is
a
say
set
you can-
amount.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can have $250 a year for mandatory travel. Yeah,
So,
period.
And anything else you do,
Well, I'm confused. Who's handling this now? Is the commission handling it? Or is
The IED board is handling it.
okay, see, I was under the impression that they came to us with
No.
that guy from the railroad
No.
requesting us to have a meeting and a workshop to discuss it because of the liability that John Hoyt brought up.
And it was taken to the IED board because we decided it needed to be taken to them.
Right, yes, go ahead.
So, in our January ID board meeting, Mark Allen in our announcements and statements said that he was gonna come to the January commission meeting and have somebody with the Tennessee Valley Rail Authority and make whatever his proposal is. It was not on the ID board agenda. Mark Allen brought that up in announcements and statements at the end of our January meeting, and that all stems from a train ride that he went on in the fall when people were asked to come and get on the train ride.
So the IDB board has nothing to do with it?
We've not had any votes or had any official discussion where we could vote on it. It's never been on our official agenda. It's only been brought up in announcements and statements.
Thank you. So, with that being said, do we want to have a workshop meeting with this guy from the railroad?
I think it needs to go to the IED board first.
Huh?
Take a stop hold on those.
No, I want to know how you feel. Do we even need to go that far, or do we need to let it die?
Kill it.
Kill it now.
That's more, just kill it.
Kill it and let the IDB board have it.
If they want it, I'll be honest with you, right, I wouldn't touch it 10-foot pole. We had it for 7 months at one point, arguing back and forth. There's always more to it than you realize.
Well, somebody needs to talk to the, them over there.
You know they're already.
Anyway, there's people now
Downtown
think
staff.
that y'all have set
Yeah.
up a meeting, commission meeting.
We have not.
Well, the word's out there on the street.
Well, there's
Well,
lots of words
that's
out
the
there.
problem, the
That's the
word gets
problem.
out
A
there.
lot of words out there.
There's a lot of words out there.
That's what happens because it was talked about one time, then it went
We
haywire,
got 3.
and it made the circle.
Chamber of Commerce.
And everybody got
said
blamed.
tonight that there's going to be a planning meeting.
Well, the
with-
Chamber of Commerce has nothing to do with us, so it's a
Yeah, but
commission.
they got the information from somebody on the commission.
I think it was said last month, the guy mentioned having, or we talked about having a workshop.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
that
It
was,
in
yeah,
there. It was
that was
in
basically all that was said at the commission meeting, that we would have a workshop.
there. We were gonna try to get it.
And
in before.
get the attorney and get everybody that knows something.
I will tell you, after speaking to an attorney,
We got
Yeah.
3 votes.
unless we start carrying more people than Amtrak's,
On this side.
that's when we need it.
I will check on that side.
And I don't see that for happening.
They wanna kill it and us to do nothing and let IDB work.
That's perfect.
Does that work?
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes.
Before we take it up over to the ID board, is there anything that the ID board can do? The ID board
Not that I know of.
establish the rail authority, can we?
I think it stops with the commission, we're the ones that vote on having a railroad.
No, he said the other day that that was no longer true. It's no longer just counties that can do that.
So if the city of Copper Hill could do it, they're the ones that's gonna kind of reap the benefits, so to speak. And that might be something that they want to look into.
Obviously, you does now.
You do realize there's no benefits to the county for this thing, because there's no like tariff or
No,
charge for
All
doing it.
that the county gets is the liability if something
We
happens.
get the liability, but we don't
We don't
get
get
it.
it from back. That's exactly the way it was.
That's the reason we're
We're done.
And I don't think Copper Hill can vote it in because it's gonna be run up down the county land, we're still gonna be liable. The county is for the train wreck or something.
the only thing that I
County will be
see in the
first one seen.
future that this will hurt is when and it will happen, and it won't be that long, that the trestle is going to be in great need of repair. No entity will take that on themselves.
Does Fannin County have one of those?
That
Because
will
they
have
haul
to
a
be,
lot
they
of
will have to
people.
get grants, and without rail authority, you cannot get grants. So that, I feel like, is a lot of the reason
But
that
so
they're
is over the
pushing.
hill.
Because once that trestle is in need of repair, the train will be shut down, which we don't get anything out of it anyway.
They've got a business here in town that wants to open up a second mine.
Yeah.
So Fannin County does not have one, and that Blue Ridge train hauls way more people than the other one.
You read it, you stood up and read it.
No, I don't think
He didn't?
No, I don't think it was. Bring it here.
I'll do it,
There you go.
I'll do it in 4 minutes, it'll take you a little bit longer.
Does it have to be read?
You can say.
Don't you just have to announce, hey, that this,
Technically, you just read the top, you can read just the top part, because
Just
it's
the
no
top
money.
And offers anybody here.
okay, all right. So we can just read the top part. We can offer it to everyone here, that we can make copies, we can email it to you if you'll get with Jackie. We will send it to you, and I guess, do we give it to the paper or what?
They should have.
They should have it.
Okay. So this is the resolution of the governing body of Polk County, Tennessee, declaring Polk County a homeschool sanctuary county. And this was on February the 20th, 2024, on behalf of the citizens of Polk County and the Board of Commissioners.
I have 2 copies.
Okay.
I swear somebody,
I don't think we did, after I got started.
You don't have it.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.